Disclaimer: the following video is pure fan speculation. Nothing I say should be treated as fact unless a post has proven it to be a real thing from a dev. Fusion Fall Legacy has no set release date as of now, while Fusion Fall Retro is available to play right now. These games are not connected to Cartoon Network as they are fan games. Please be sure to check the website for any and all information you may need. Please enjoy the video.
Hey buddy, listen, life's all about rejections, so you can't let each one of them get you down, because each rejection makes us a better person, and when you actually take the time to learn from those rejections, then you become even more of a special person. Listen, I'm very sure that someone will come along soon, and they'll be your partner for life. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I couldn't say that with a straight face. Yeah, you're probably gonna be alone forever, dude. Oh, man.
Nanos? Ha! Pretty much the most advertised and memorable aspect of the game, and basically its bread and butter. Use nanos for essentially every task you can imagine. For example,
Fizzy rocket!
yay. Although none of that seems to have more weight than your feeling of being able to collect and see so many familiar faces from your childhood just transforms any day from hello darkness my old friend to being just as long as you don't think too hard about what nanos actually are.
Nanos have make a nano. Are nanos technically slaves? Does my nano even ever want to eat more than gumball? Where do nanos go when we don't use them? Oh, hey, look, a new one.
But all nanos are not created equally. If you don't believe me, here's a little test to just show you how different you really are. If you use at least 2 of these nanos, then congratulations, you've officially been labeled a basic bitch. I'm sorry. Even me? Yes, Fred, especially you. Oh, man. In spite of this, I feel as if I'm the only one that sees this as an actual problem. At the current time I'm making this video, we have 36 nanos, and a good majority of the player base only uses 7 of them. There's no diversity. I mean, I can forgive you for not using this one. No one should ever use this one.
Oh, come on, man.
But this is something I cannot ignore any longer. And since the devs have been ignoring my numerous emails stating exactly how to go about fixing this, it's clear to me the only logical next step is to make a video of me yelling instead. So let's fix the nanos. Hold up, first let's make one thing clear. I am not a dev, nor have I ever created a game, though I did try to make a dating sim one time, but that's a story for another day. The point being, I have no clue how anything really works in Fusion Fall, and neither do you probably. So I don't know if any of the ideas I'm going to present here are a possibility, but this is more of a starting concept that I hope that real devs consider to build upon, rather than something I expect the devs to follow to a T. So you got that, John? I don't want to see you type in that comment, you little bitch. For those of you whose memories are a little hazy, the traditional way you go about getting a nano is via mission every time you level up. These are referred to as we the best! In addition to the traditional way, you can also find just a random NPC who gives out a mission. These are called we taking over! Although at the time of recording this video, no secondary nanos have actually been added to the game yet, and it's kind of looking like they might not appear for a while. But once you obtain a nano, you are prompted with 3 possible powers to choose from to aid you throughout the game. This includes running faster, jumping higher, higher payouts, finding cocoa eggs, a radar, man, some of these powers are what powers a nano gets is what exactly separates the top tier gods from the ones I find in my garbage can. And I can completely understand that there are different nanos for different jobs. For example, you can use this team for combat, while a team like this is much more suited for racing. But that doesn't explain why garbage like this still exists. This is more likely due to the overabundance of nano abilities. Currently at the time of this video, there is 16 variation of nano abilities. However, that doesn't really matter when almost half of them are completely pointless. It really feels as if the OG devs made these as filler to make the game look more But in reality, all this does is push people away from certain nanos and towards better ones. Like, why would anyone want to struggle using the Virgin Swamp Fire over here when they could be using the Chad Forearms? It's just simple. Knowing why the pool of nanos in use is so abysmal right now is the beginning of actually fixing the problem, and I'll tell you how. So far, the retro devs team's solution to upgrading / expanding an already existing feature in the game is to just add a guy who's better than an already existing NPC in the game. You want to use whatever vehicle you want at the max speed? Go talk to these guys. You're constantly running out of bank space and inventory space? Don't worry, we added some new bank guys. Your parents are losing spark in their marriage and might get a divorce? No problem, send them to the therapy guy.
Have you guys considered playing Fusion Fall?
My point being, the easy first step to making every nano viable is to just add a guy in key locations, but definitely not Peach Creek or Mount Blackhead. Those places are already too crowded, and if you add any more people, I swear I'm gonna end it all. This channel, not my life. Here, I'll do the work for you. Put them in these places. They're pretty empty. Let's give them some life, huh, Dogon? But just saying add a guy can be a bit vague. So to clarify, I'm suggesting that someone or a group of individuals be added to change your nano powers to whatever you want it to be. That way, you can use whatever nano you want in whatever section of the game you want. Meaning, you're getting used, and why the fuck are you in this game?
Hi, I actually know why now. So when this guy was making the game, he wanted a certain amount of imaginary, scientific, powerful, and magic people in the game, and he decided that Hex was gonna fill that hole to have X amount of magic people in the game. But, actually, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because when you really think about it, all these guys could also fill a magic hole, you know, from shows that don't really have that much representation in the game. And on top of that, Hex didn't even really deserve a nano, especially over Gwen, who is technically a magic character, and Kevin. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. I think someone just really liked Hex on the dev team. We could have had a Lucky Girl nano.
To be completely honest, I'm pretty sure if the devs wanted to make a change like this happen, then more than likely they would just update the already existing nano stations in the game, or the big one. Originally planned to be the way you make nanos, the Great Machine was abandoned in favor of getting nanos when you beat a fusion. Now, if you told me you didn't know what the Great Machine was before this video, I wouldn't blame you, neither did I. But conveniently as it may be to just say,
The Great Machine is online and now you can change your nano power to whatever you want. Yay!
that's just too boring for me, and it doesn't really add anything fun to the game, and if it's not fun, why bother? Here's a quick history lesson for you. The in-lore reason for the existence of nanos is that Mandark tried playing God, attempted creating life. Guess he figured he didn't really have a chance with deity anymore. But after botching a presentation where he showed off a prototype nano, Dexter came along and made it better. And now we have nanos that we don't use. But something that has always bothered me is that Fusion Fall is a crossover game, and one of the most important features of the game is a product of one show. Two, if you count the explanation that they use imaginary energy, but that's more of the concept of imaginary friends and not actual representation from any one character or the whole show.
Look, I just want more world building in my Fusion Fall. Like, is that so much to ask for? They explain more bank space by having Princess want more money, and that's pretty good, but we can do better than that. We can keep adding things so we can explain everything. Make Fusion Fall make sense, please!
So let's see, we need to find someone smart enough to be able to work on DNA. And thanks to the long history of Cartoon Network, I'd say there's a lot of capable people of science that we could choose from, but this is a YouTube video and all this was already pre-written out in the script. So I already have someone in mind, and you know that, so there's no point of drawing this out. It's got to be one of these two guys. It really doesn't matter which one of these two guys. They're basically the same character when you think about it. but I wanted to find someone who had no regard for putting other people's work to shame, but also someone who was associated with a lot of generic assistants or soldiers so that we could have people to place around the map. Coming up with the exact reasons of these characters' involvement in something like this isn't really hard. You could think of something on the fly just as easily as, oh, Asmith finds out about nanos and sees that some of them are related to the Omnitrix and feels compelled to improve them to not have something imperfect related to his work. Or maybe Cesar believes that fusion matter is vital to the advancement of the human species and chooses to experiment on nanos to further his research. I don't know, man, I'm not a writer, but you see where I'm coming from, right? Basically, you collect fusion matter, you speak to a rep, and bam, now you can change your favorite nano to be the best nano that you can possibly have.
Listen, dude, the only reason I'm really making this video is because I actually believe this is something that needs to be changed. Everyone should have the freedom to play with the nano they want regardless of power. Even if I don't think that nano should be in the game, who cares what I think? The game should be what you want it to be. You should be able to play how you want to play. And I hope this video actually sparks discussions with people, gets them in the forums talking about how Magic was actually right. Nanos need to change. This is a problem that Fusion Fall is actually facing. Because we should come together as a community and try to figure this out together. Some of the things I may have said in this video may not be possible, or I may have gotten it wrong, but I'm just a guy. I did a bunch of research, but I could have researched wrong. Let's figure this out together, you know? I just want the game to be better, and is that so wrong?
Congratulations, Magic.
Who are you?
I was sitting here by the devs who are very happy with your video. So happy that they've decided you have more than earned your coat in the game.
For real? Like, it's actually happening? And I'm gonna have my code in the game? For real?
There's just one thing left you have to do.
Yes, anything. You got it.
Wake up, Magic.
Wake up.
No! Your Majesty.
Now it's time to get on the floor and dance and dance.